There is no harm in using cannabis on your animals, but you don't want to give them too much of the one compound that makes us high. You want to be very careful about dosing animals with THC. So most veterinarians start with a hemp product that has just the teensiest bit of THC in it. Not enough to make anybody high, but enough to help the pain go away.
Welcome to Season 6 of the Cannabis Truth Podcast, where we speak the language of cannabis freely and uncensored while educating our audience on safe use of this live plant therapy. You should know what's in your cannabis, what's good and what's not, because cannabis does not come with an FDA stamp of approval, yet. The information you will find here comes straight from scientists and clinicians doing the work and reporting their findings in reputable outlets. Hopefully, we can inspire you to research the facts as we know them today. Cannabis is an amazing alternative in health remedies, with the potential to alleviate typical disease problems and troubling side effects, even those caused by synthetic prescriptions. Here now is the host of the Cannabis Truth Podcast. She is a 21st century cannabis shaman, not a doctor, not a scientist. Raised by nuns and wolves in the verdant cattle pastures of the Oklahoma oil fields, here to amplify the truth of this great big story of cannabis in historical, political, scientific, and spiritual terms, so you can make educated decisions about the medicine you choose to ingest. Please welcome Honey Smith Walls.
And there we go. Hi, everybody. I am so tickled to introduce my guest today. This is Teddy Bear, and he is my little prima donna. Thank you so much for joining us. We've got a very special show for you today, and we want to talk about his needs and my other critters' needs. Let me see if I can introduce you to some of the others. Hey, anybody else here? Come here, Precious. Come here, Precious. Come here, Precious. That's a good girl. That's a good girl. Come here, baby. Yep. Come here. Come on. Up. Good girl. Now let me show you this one. This is my little Precious. And Precious is, well, what can I tell you? She's a little nervous. She's got issues. And she came to us this way. She was our little rescue, and we got her when she was, just a few months old. But something had already happened to her. And she was just a nervous Nellie from the moment we got her. And so she's had a real hard time trusting humans or other animals or anything. And so her behavior reflects that. And when she's really anxious, she goes up and screams in other critters' faces, just goes up and charges at them and screams and yap, 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 yap in their faces and then runs away. And she won't, can't let them get close to her. She's got to charge at them first. That's some pretty serious anxiety going on for her. And she's sitting here right now trying not to shake and shiver and shimmy. She's just, she doesn't know what she's doing up here in my lap and why I'm talking to you instead of her. And she's pretty calm right now. Yeah, we've had a great morning. So I've got 5 dogs and 2 cats. And I used to have a turkey. All right, come here. This little prima donna always wants to sit on me and paw me and make me pet him. And he also is a singer. Yeah, that's kind of unusual for dogs. They're not generally accustomed to being part of an entertainment package and generally have to be trained to do so, but not Teddy. No, Teddy's a natural born singer, and anytime I whoop out an instrument of any kind, he wants to join in and sing along, and it's pretty cute to see. not so easy to hear for much more than a couple of minutes, but pretty cute to see. Anyway, have a little slug of coffee. Today I'm here talking about a subject that's near and dear to my heart because I have so many critters of my own, and they've got their little issues like humans have, issues too. And often it's the same kind of issues. It's anxiety, inflammation, and pain. Those three very general categories of typical issues that all humans and animals suffer. That's what I'm here to talk to you about today. And this season coming up. Halloween's going to be here very, very soon. And if you have a critter who gets anxious or nervous or afraid at every doorbell or with every new guest that comes to your home, not to mention all the scary little goblins that are going to be coming up with their bags crinkling and shoving them inside your door and taking candies and stuff, that's just reason for terror for some animals, and they don't know if things are being stolen or what, they're just poor little things. Anyway, we can help them through these events that are human-made events and help them past the anxiety of what we're doing. So the way that we can do that is to use a good plant product that will help ease that anxiety. Now, I've got a couple of plant products that I talk about consistently. One of them is cannabis, and the other one is a terpene often found in cannabis that acts like a cannabinoid in our receptor system. By the way, that reminds me, I need to tell you, all humans and animals, if you haven't heard this before, have a built-in receptor system that binds perfectly with hundreds, all the compounds, hundreds of them in cannabis. That's right. Binds perfectly. Those receptors in our body, both animals and humans, those receptors bind perfectly with the compounds that we ingest or inhale. And they help all kinds of things. They help anxiety, they help inflammation, and they help acute pain. Those are three major big deals for humans and animals. And when we can find a gentle plant therapy that walks us through that stage of our day or life or whatever is going on for us, then we really can have balance in our life and not go out of balance so easily. So, the other thing I want to make you aware of is that animals have far more receptors than we do, as new science is discovering and telling us. So that's my job. I'm trying to keep up with the scientists and the doctors and the legal and the politics and the history and, all that stuff for you so that you don't have to go down all these rabbit holes. I've been studying this stuff for well over a decade now, and I'm just thrilled to continue to be able to present it to you. I'm going into my 7th year pretty soon of this podcast, and I'm thrilled to be able to bring this news to you. Cannabis is so good for not only humans, but also our pets. And when we can use a gentle plant therapy instead of the pharmaceuticals that don't play as nicely in our system because they're laboratory made, they're synthetic chemicals, and plants, as we are discovering, are so much gentler on our system than the pharmaceuticals. So, okay.
Yeah, honey, no.
This is a shout out to all my entrepreneurial sisters. I'm wondering, are you feeling stuck like I did when I first started my business? I hadn't been through business college, and there were so many things I didn't know and understand, especially about marketing, especially about the back-end bone structure of your business, and all the little things that you could do to help yourselves in the way of tools. So looking forward, if you need help in getting those little projects done, but you've been stumped because you just couldn't figure out one piece of that app or the next step or the next darn, and you just wanted somebody to just show me how, I'm your girl. That's why I created honeyshelp.com. Now you can get a la carte help for those little projects that have just been nagging you. I can help you with a lot of that stuff that builds the backbones of your business. And we can do it together, stress-free, where you will enjoy learning how to structure the backbones of your business. I hope that you will go visit honeyshelp.com for more information about what we could do together to get you past those hurdles that have just been stumping you for so long, when all it would take is just a few minutes of somebody showing you how. I'm your girl. This is Honey Smith Walls, and I hope that you will too. Go visit honeyshelp.com today. Hi, Honey Smith Walls here. I'm host of the Cannabis Truth Podcast, weekly for the past 6 years. But today I'm inviting you to a Facebook group called the Holistic Relief Summit, in hopes that you too will come for the peace and stay for the epiphanies. It's a beautiful space for women to find all kinds of relief from all kinds of suffering. Come join us for free. If you're not able to use cannabis, you could use a terpene, this one in particular, that will help you with inflammation and pain, acute pain, and like nausea and anxiety. It is an amazing product I don't want to be without, because it made me realize what an anxious woman I was when I wasn't using it. I mean, I started using this for the pain in my hands, and yeah, it helps a ton, but when I realized that it absolutely got rid of the anxiety I was feeling, I don't ever want to be without it. Turns out, after all the work I've been doing over the past couple of years for, my inner child and fixing all of that, I was such an anxious woman, I had no idea. But when I use this, that's all gone. It's just gone. I hope you too go look up Dr. Blair's. It's called Able Docs Apothecary is the name of his company. You can find him at blairmedicalgroup.la as well. And the name of the product is BC Plus. It's a reference to beta-caryophyllene. The terpene, beta-caryophyllene, BC Plus. It's so cool. Let's see, I want you to realize that you're going to begin seeing common triggers of anxiety, when that doorbell keeps ringing. And for instance, when the UPS guy comes or the FedEx guy comes, I'm sure your dogs just go crazy over that doorbell. Well, imagine, I know you know this, when that doorbell starts ringing, one after the other, knocking on the doors, or all of that stuff going on to, alarm and alert your pets, whether they're cats or dogs. So we want to be able to help them pass that before they ever get to that stage of panic and anxiety. So you can sort of desensitize them about the doorbell by practicing that every day. You can just go stand on the other side of the door and just ring that doorbell and let the dog bark and tell him it's all right, and stop that, and ring the doorbell again after he gets settled down, and let him go through his motions and tell him it's all right. No, you don't need to. I've got this. It's okay. Go ahead. And see how you begin to reprogram your dog's mind and heart about the event of that doorbell ringing. Now, it takes time. And, it's not going to happen overnight. It takes practice. It takes repetition. It takes time. And so you're going to want to start practicing that now. Halloween is just down the road, just around the corner. So that's going to be coming. And that's not all. Then we've got Thanksgiving and all the packages arriving and deliveries and the dinners and the people and the family who are coming in and where are they going to stay. And then we've got Christmas stuff going on coming up too, and all the in and out of the door and the boxes and gifts arriving and the trees going up and all of that stuff. So those can be very stressful events for your dog when after, all the rest of the year it's been quite quiet. So we want to begin helping our critters as soon as possible to deprogram them from stress and anxiety of knocking on the door, packages being delivered outside that door, the doorbell ringing, all that sort of stuff. And you can do that. It's way easier to do that when you have given them a little plant therapy to help calm them to begin with. And there are several of them. I'm going to be talking about the trusted sources that I believe in and that I personally use. And I want to explain a little bit about the science of this, and then a real life story too. So, as I was saying, the science of cannabis in both animals and humans is that it binds perfectly with this receptor system that we have, that we've always had, that humans and animals have always had. And that's why ingesting cannabis is so easy for us, because of that receptor system. So you can be assured that there is no harm in using cannabis on your animals, but you don't want to give them too much of one compound. The one compound that makes us high, because we're not trying to send our animals into a confusing state of mind. We're trying to help them calm their anxiety. And a lot of you may already know that too much THC causes anxiety. And so when you equate that to an animal that already has way more receptors in their body than humans, you want to be very careful about dosing animals with THC in that product. So most veterinarians start with a hemp product that has just the teensiest bit of THC in it, not enough to make anybody high, but enough to help the pain go away. And that's what THC is so great for, pain management. So it's also really good for PTSD, for stopping those negative looping thoughts. And I don't know if dogs get into that like humans do, but I can tell you that there's plenty of times when Millie, my Labrador, sees, other dogs walking on the street out the window, and she just goes nuts, and you can't get her out of that. So that's a mindset that, could be helped with a little plant therapy to calm her down, because she just goes from sleep to out of her mind. And we've been working on that, but it is not easy to reprogram her little mind from that when she is just so crazed over those 4 great big poodles that are walking down the street. My girlfriend called me the other day, I want you to know, and she was in the car with 2 other friends of hers, lady friends, and their little puppy, Bridget. Now, Bridget was an older girl, maybe, I don't know, 10, 12, 15, something like that. And girlfriend said her mama was always worried about the separation anxiety that Bridget had, and it just felt so terrible to have to go to the grocery store, or, she couldn't go to the bathroom alone. Well, nobody can go to the bathroom alone when you've got an animal in the house. But her, Bridget's obvious anxiety was just so hard to watch, and she was wondering if there was anything that could help Bridget that I knew about. Well, of course, I told her about cannabis and about hemp, especially for dogs. And I gave her the names of some trusted sources. For instance, Dr. Angie Krause, Krause, is in Boulder, Colorado, and she has an amazing knowledge of cannabis and how it helps animals. You can get in touch with her at no, that's not quite right. It's boulderholisticvet.com. And she'll be able to help you with any real serious pet issues. But more than that, she has the greatest cannabis information and educational packages, little courses that just help you understand what you need to know about animals and using cannabis for their pain or anxiety or acute pain or inflammation or whatever, you need it for. So Dr. Angie Krause uses a certain kind of cannabis, and then when we get that for our animals, it's so easy. And I just want to say, it's already been dosed for you so that you can be assured that you're not going to give your puppy too much, and that it's going to be just right for helping your animal either out of anxiety, inflammation, or acute pain. That's what happened with Bridget. She was on this little trip with my girlfriend and her 2 other lady friends, and they were going to have to leave Bridget in a hotel room by herself. And they knew that it was just going to tear her up inside. She was going to cry and scratch at the door and bark and carry on. Well, they gave her some hemp product, a little CBD. And guess what? Not only did she not cry, she didn't whimper, she didn't scratch at the door, she didn't go pee on anything, she didn't poop anywhere. She just went and laid down and soothed. She was completely calm and soothed, and they left the television on for her, and she was fine. The mother of that dog, she was blown away, because for however many years old that dog was, she had always had these issues, and it was just devastating, not only to the dog, but to the mama. Come here, baby. I know you're trying to get up there. Oh, my goodness. He's always up and down and up and down, up and down. And now he says, now hold me the way I want to be held. This is not it. He wants me to hold him so, well, there. Okay, there he goes. Just help. Oh, now he's back at scratching me. Nope. Okay, so where were we? Choosing the right product is really important. And so I strongly recommend that you go to a veterinarian who has a product that's already been well dosed and managed for you. Dr. Angie Krause has products on her page. I also use a product like MedTerra. They come in little drops, by the way, so you can just take it out and drop it right into your puppy's mouth, or you can put it into a little bit of food. You can bury it in some peanut butter, that sort of thing. And it, let's see. I think once you understand how wonderful it is to see your animal well balanced and not in a state of nervousness or fight or flight, for survival, for that anxiety that's going on, you will be amazed at at what cannabis can do for not only you, but your pets. We have a lot of backpedaling to do politically to bring this product forward publicly, unitedly across the United States and even around the world. We have a lot of backpedaling to do politically and legally, and they're trying to work all of that out. But for right now, you can help your little sweet things feel better, more balanced, less anxious. You can help them with their inflammation. You can help them with their more serious problems if you go to a specialist who understands cannabinoidology and how it can help your pets. I have my 15-year-old Paco, who has some pretty serious liver issues going on. I have him on a much stronger product that helps him with pain and inflammation and keeps his system moving. So he's still, eating and drinking and peeing and pooping all right. And as long as he's doing that and not crying and whimpering throughout the day in pain, then I know that he's doing okay. But it's because I'm giving him a real good dose of cannabis that we made the discovery dose. It took us a few days to figure that out and to see how much it was going to take to ease that pain and to keep him from, not getting high. So we balance those cannabinoids so that our little pets don't get high. They don't need to be high. And then he's in comfort throughout his day and throughout his night. That's what we're looking for. Comfort and relief for anxiety, inflammation, and acute pain. I want to thank you for joining me today for this little special edition to remind you to help your pets through these human events that cause them all kinds of anxiety and fear. And, as long as we're going to keep doing these, 4th of July, all that sort of stuff, New Year's, all that, then we can also help balance the fear and anxiety of our pets. So if you would like more information about dosing for your animals, I am happy to talk to you. Just pick up the I started to say pick up the phone and call me, but you don't have my number. Find me on the digits and in the media, on the social media. Just, go click on the chat and ask me anything. You can find me all over Facebook too, on my personal page at Honey Smith Walls. And you can find me on LinkedIn, hanging out with the science tribe of the cannabinoidologists on LinkedIn. They're pretty amazing too. So, until next week, I'm just reminding you to please do something to help your pets through this terror-filled evening of goblins and ghosts banging on the door and demanding their treats. And I think you'll be much more at ease too when you know that your pets' little hearts aren't afraid. See you next week.
You've been listening to another Cannabis Truth Podcast with 21st century cannabis shaman Honey Smith Walls. Using cannabis mindfully as medication is a different concept in Western healthcare philosophy, specifically over the past century. There's a lot to learn and reconsider. The scientific truth of cannabis is finally getting out and is wide open for all to see at respected medical sites like the National Library of Medicine at pubmed.gov and the Journal of American Medical Association at JAMAnetwork.com. We here at the Cannabis Truth Podcast are right there in the thick of it, alongside the titans of medicine, as a fly on the wall. We are not doctors, nor did we go to medical school, but we have taken dozens of private cannabis courses and still engage in continuing education offered by expert cannabis scientists. Over the past few years, we slowly began to see and understand the bigger picture. Now we hear from people all day long about cannabis. It is so important to use verifiably safe products. The process of getting a diagnosis from your family doctor and taking your records to a cannabis specialist can lead you to the correct cannabinoid therapy for your specific issues. Otherwise, you're simply your own guinea pig looking for answers without the foundational knowledge or ability to determine your best strategy. To find a qualified cannabis expert in your area, visit cannabisclinicians.org. This is a national society of cannabis experts. Look for the link in the show notes. Unless otherwise proven by a reputable third-party lab test, please regard all street weed as contaminated. It may do grave harm to a patient with a delicate immune system who already has inflammatory issues like arthritis, IBS, fibromyalgia, or worse. Thank you so much for your time today. I hope you find value and understanding through the conversations you've heard on this podcast.
A quick shout out to Nathan Pierce and Daniel Rome of the 406 Budcast and their brilliant tech goddesses who created what you're about to hear next.
She walked in with wisdom and a fire in her eyes, talking plant truth where the silence lies. From the roots to the bloom, she saw the light. Now she's teaching folks how to heal it right. Not afraid to challenge the tale of lazy myths in a system that failed. She's got science in one hand, stories in the other. Lifts up the voices they tried to smother. Honey knows, honey grows. Truth in the soil and love in the smoke. Speaking for the elders and the ones left behind. She's the shaman of the leaf with a warrior's mind. Yeah, honey knows how the healing flows. From Florida sun to digital waves, she's breaking down fear with every word she says. Cannabis truth, that's her battle cry. For the mamas and papas still scared to try. She ain't selling hype, she's serving facts. Taking big pharma to school with class. With a mic and a mission, she lights the way for the lost and the curious every day. Honey knows, honey grows. Truth in the bud and peace in the dose. Teaching the plant like a sacred art. From the ECS to the beating heart. Yeah, honey knows. How the healing flows. She's been burned by the system, lifted by the plant, giving voice to the ones who thought they can. A sister, a savior.